I'm with Reece Watson now from Raw Stadia. Reece, we're on the pitch here at Genk. You did a really interesting presentation earlier, and it's what I like to call looking at Turfcare, but data-driven Turfcare. How important do you think that is going forward?
I think it's very important, actually. You see the whole kind of world go into a more data-driven approach, and I think we have to embrace that as an industry as well, like being more efficient, managing the pitches towards different departments, trying to, sell yourself to management. All these aspects you can talk in a common language rather than just trying to explain why you want to make it more green. You can talk by numbers and data and how you can improve the surface and go forward from there. Yeah.
And it's a bit more than just protecting your back now, because I think, most groundsmen, oh God, star player turns his ankle or whatever, somebody's going to come knocking on my door. But there's more to what you're talking about.
Absolutely. Like I explained in the presentation, it's for every player. I feel groundsmen always blame themselves or think that they're going to get the blame for every injury. So all of a sudden they feel that they have to change the surface. But what we're explaining is every player that gets injured has gone on a long journey for that injury. So they might be stressed, they might have hit the gym too hard, they might have, had a McDonald's or whatever it might have been that then led to an injury. The surface might have just been another factor in that kind of journey. So I feel as groundsmen we have to stop thinking it's solely about ourselves, but working together with other departments to give them a bit more of a holistic view of what's going on and not fear the blame game, more work together.
Big issue for the grounds care industry as a whole is the image of it.
Yeah.
And I think trying to become more professional, trying to be viewed as more professional and therefore attract people into the industry, whereas it might have been perceived as a very different job by the great public. Yeah. How big a role has this got in that?
I think it's massive. Like, we need to look at how we sell our industry to these younger generations coming through, and selling it just to sit on a mower, -5 degrees, whatever it might be in the rain, is probably not the way we should be selling our industry as a whole. We need to show how cool this industry can be, how important the surfaces are to the game. Like, we've seen how the Premier League has evolved with better pitches, and the whole of Europe is now following that model. And we really need to showcase how all these events and all these guys here, the importance of the role that they do, and make it cool, by data-driven, by new technology, new ideas to embrace and sell to the younger generation.
And this is leading to grounds teams working more closely with, and indeed in some cases part of, the kind of team performance setup.
Yeah, so we're seeing more and more. So previously, I guess the model is that the ground staff would kind of answer into the operation, so it's seen as a cost out, for example, whereas we're actually starting to see the surface as a performance asset. So it can help enhance the performance of the players, it can keep them on the field for longer. So we're starting to notice that more and more teams are starting to answer into performance, and I think that is really powerful for our industry, and it really empowers the surface and the work that we do, because that's the reason we do it. We produce surfaces for the players to perform their best.
And that complete game changer in terms of what the role is viewed as and what the role's about, and indeed the impact that they now are known to be having on the performance of the team, and therefore hopefully the investment that they'll get going forward to deliver the surfaces that are needed.
Exactly. If you're trying to purchase a Procore or some kind of equipment for the maintenance of the surface, it's much easier to sell if it's going to affect the players' performance and the players' welfare than it is just for softening up the ground to make it look greener. So you can also use it into your advantage. And that's what it's for. You're there to produce the best surface you possibly can for them players to perform at their optimum.
This is a really interesting subject. I won't take up any more time on this today, but hopefully we can pick up on it in the future and go into a bit more depth on it.
No, that's great. Thanks for your time. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Reece.
Okay.